How's it going, guys? Sean Dekmar here from DekmarTrades.com. Before we jump into this live video, I do want to just give you some basic background knowledge about this trade. So during this trade, you're going to be seeing me compare TVIX to SPY. TVIX is an inverse ETF and will do almost exactly the opposite of SPY. This is something I really want you to understand, because if you didn't have this knowledge, you would be a little confused while watching this. So in this video, I'm going to be saying, hey, watch SPY for this crack of this line, and that would make TVIX spike. If SPY starts moving on up, that means TVIX is going to be moving on down. And you're going to be able to see how I compare the two. If I could see what SPY is going to do next, and I can know when this is going to crack support or break resistance, I'll ultimately be able to predict what TVIX is going to do, if it's going to be moving up or down. So when watching this, definitely see the standards about how I'm looking at SPY and see how I'm looking at TVIX and how I'm able to predict TVIX off of SPY's movement. Remember, they do the opposite. So SPY spikes, TVIX will fall. SPY cracks, TVIX will rise. Make sure you guys watch the video in 1080 HD and make your screens as large as possible. The numbers do get a little small if you keep it in a small format, but I hope everyone enjoys the video. Make sure you guys smash the thumbs up button and subscribes. Enjoy it.
We're starting to get, a little bit of that drop, and we're getting some very crazy momentum now. So guys, I think I'm gonna go right here, TVIX. So I am buying in on TVIX. So I'm gonna see if I can get a drop. So I'm gonna start picking up some shares on TVIX. And what I personally want to see is this stock be able to break 267. Now, if it does, okay, back at 267 right now. So again, it's right at 267. If it does start breaking 267, obviously, I have to be a smart trader on what I do. But right now, 267 is still holding on up. If it starts, moving up very big, obviously, I have to be a smart trader. But I want to definitely see this thing, possibly turn and then, start really dumping. But obviously, I have to be smart on what I'm doing. I can't force it. I have to, stick to my trading plan, stick to my guns, and make sure I'm being smart. So right now it is above 267, and I am down in profit right now because I'm in at 1009 cost basis. So right now, again, I'm down about 20 cents, and I am just, going to be focused on what this play is going to be doing next. Wanting something to fall doesn't help it at all. TVIX, what I am watching for on this is going to be this trend line. So I'm probably just going to play the trend line here. As long as the trend line holds, I'll hold. That's basically all I'm going to do. So this is what I'm doing, trend line play. Let me just see, giving it one more second to see if we're going to bounce back on up at all, because it is starting to crack this line. And I'm just about to sell right here. I just want to see if we are going to bounce at all. Last line of support. We do have the trend line, but we do have our last line of support right here. This is like the last thing I have before I 100% have to get out. That's my last little thing before I have to 100% get out. Looking at the SPY really quickly, because that's back on up. So again, SPY back on up to that high. So again, both are testing. Both are testing. SPY testing its high. TVIX testing its lows. TVIX starting to get a little bit of a bounce. Again, okay, so I'm still okay at this moment. Obviously, again, I want to play this as smart as I can. I don't want to take a big loss. I know that. But at the same time, I am just playing this as smart as I possibly can, maybe turning it into a channel. Okay, so again, right now, I am still holding at this time. And all I'm doing now, I did have a trend line in, but then I did realize a lot of support was at this area, so I wanted to give it a little bit of room. And, it's a good call so far by me to be able to, on my end, to just be like, hey, you know what? Okay, let's, hold support. I am down 100%. My cost basis, guys, is 1009. My cost basis at the time is 1009. So I'm down right now, 100%. But, as fast as the stock moves down is as fast as it can move on up. It's just, again, those breaks of 267 is where a lot of good negative volume moves in. So SPY turning back on down now. SPY not being able to break this line once, twice, three times, very good. It's a little bit of a funny trade right now because there's so much going on, and that's why I'm kind of just really focused on this play. I'm really just all over it, trying to figure out obviously the best area for us to be able to sell and not, hold too long. 267 starting to crack again. TVIX should be coming back on up momentarily. And what we have here is slight higher lows on SPY. So we have slight higher lows starting to build on the SPY right here. If this trend line cracks, so again, it'll probably come down towards, I think, 266.75. So as you guys can see, I'm really just trying to throw in all my areas of support resistance. This is definitely a test for me today. Nice test that's going on in my head right now of SPY, okay, we have higher lows, top resistance. Okay, let's see if that's going to be able to build up. TVIX right now, my bottom support area is right here at 966. Obviously, I don't want to cut out. Obviously, I want this to break up through 1020. Break up through 1020, we could definitely be seeing a nice move. At the same time, right here, SPY starting to move on down again. Good. We want SPY cracking this trend line. We're below 266. Awesome. We want it, we're below 267. Awesome. We want it below 266.78 though. So I'm down to the trend line right here. Great. Awesome. What we want to see. TVIX starting to come back on up, which is great. I'm still down in profit. My entry was decent, but it wasn't amazing. SPY Xing off the trend line, which it should, but we need this to turn. We want to see this crack below this line. Basically cracking below this line, that is where that stock is going to really drop on off. TVIX back up towards around 10 bucks. Crack of that line, we are all set. And then over on TVIX, I am holding this at the moment. Good support bounce right here. Looking for this stock to break up through 1020. We are also inside a channel on a TVIX, inside a channel on TVIX. SPY, we have an ascending triangle pattern. As we know, it may try to work its way to the corner. We don't want SPY to work its way to a corner. Working its way to a corner, that's when the stock, it could possibly break out. We want a nice early crack on this on SPY as TVIX is trying to move its way on up. A cost basis, 1009. So again, not touching anything right now. SPY trying to work its way inside this ascending triangle pattern. We want to crack. We want to dump. That's basically what I'm watching for. Down 13 cents on TVIX at the moment. Not too shabby, but at the same time, I know where support is on TVIX, which is where? Right at this 965 mark. So keeping cool, keeping collective, knowing exactly what I should do, talking myself through this trade so I know exactly what to look for at all times and just waiting for that possible break. You know, if I get that break below, let's see if we're going to get it here. If we get that break below, that means futures are really going to start falling. Cracking this trend line, this is its main trend line of the day. Cracking this trend line on the SPY, that's definitely going to lead towards a very nice, selling volume start moving on in. But right now, SPY is what? Inside this ascending triangle pattern. So right now, it's in an ascending triangle breakout pattern. What I need again is this to crack this trend line. If it breaks upwards, I 100% have to get out. If TVIX cracks downwards, I 100% have to get out. If that's going to be my game plan. I know right now, I know exactly what we're in. The SPY is in a little bit of an ascending triangle pattern, which is absolutely fine. TVIX right here is in what? A channel. Okay, that's exactly what we're in right now. For me to, come out profitable, I need this crack. And I'll be the first one to say, my entry right now, 1009, is not the best entry. Again, my entry, I thought this was going to be the crack right here. When this stock started dumping right here, I thought that was going to be the crack where it was going to turn and drop. Obviously right now we have this ascending triangle pattern forming. What I need is this trend line to end it. I need this to basically kill hopes and dreams. So I'm looking for people's dreams to die in an abyss of shallow love. So right here, did we just get it? Bonjour, mademoiselle. All right, so SPY starting to get a little bit of a crack right here. And let's see if we're going to get that crack and we're going to get some good hype back on up. So again, TVIX back up towards around 1005. And let's see if we're going to start, basically killing some dreams here as it's slowly trying to move back. SPY is starting to move on down and TVIX starting to move on up. Marcus Breeze, I'm looking for people's dreams to die. It's so mean. So negative. I hate it. What is the Dow down right now? Dow's down 162 points. Okay, not too bad. Nasdaq's down 16. S&P 500's down 10. All right, so right now I am up in profit. Now I can start seeing some gains. Cool. Good point about having a trade and plan, guys. This is all about having a trade and plan here. Futures aren't down too much yet. And that's why I think they could fall a lot. I mean, they're down 166 points. I would like to see them down what? Like 10,000, please? I would like them realistic, maybe 300 points on a day like today. So yeah, right now we are seeing some good activity up in the 1030s. I want to see this push $11, $12. Look at it. Now we're starting to get this crack. Trying to read this stock like a book right now, guys. I'm trying to read the SPY like a book. And you guys are seeing me right now. This is a test for me, 100%. I'm telling you guys, like, this is definitely an intense type of trade right here. It's not like I'm sitting here and I'm just like, hey guys, easy trade right here. U-shaped breakout pattern, in, out, boom, done. This is a trade that I had a little bit of a rough entry in. This was a trade so far that I had to hold not holding the bag. I'm not holding the bag. Holding the bag is just hoping that it's going to come back down. What I did so far is I have been watching the stock and I've been saying, okay, we have this pattern here, we have this pattern here. Okay, ascending triangle pattern, we know out of ascending triangle patterns what? That if that cracks or if that gets up to the top, that's where we could see a possible breakout. If it comes to the channel, if the channel cracks, that's where it's going to dump. It's like the low of the day. If this can drop back into the 265s, that is awesome for us. Right now, TVIX making some good cash right here. I'm just going to keep holding, to be honest. I'm going to keep on holding. And I just want to see, what kind of profit I'm going to make now. Just keep on holding, and there's that crack. There's that crack. Let's go. What did we have here? What did we talk about here that I was able to say, hey, you know what? I'm down right now about $1,500 in profit or a $1,500 loss. How am I able to hold this? And that's just because of one, we have the ascending triangle pattern. Okay, we have the ascending triangle pattern on SPY. I want to go over this right now as, again, I'm sitting at a pretty nice area and I don't have to sweat as hard. So right here, again, we have the ascending triangle pattern. When we have this ascending triangle pattern, we know what? As this stock moves on up, it's going to get tighter and tighter and tighter. If this stock gets tight enough that it's inside this corner, gets that breakout, that's where it's going to get that rip. At the corner of this breakout. As you guys know, corner of the triangle, that's where you get the breakout. That's where you get the run. That's where you get that pop. So if it ever got to the corner right here, what would happen? That's where it would break out. And that's where what? That's where TVIX was at the bottom. Like when this was at the top right here, that was when TVIX was at 965. So I'm saying to myself, hey, you know what? That's when it's at 965. So if it cracks 965, that's when I'm out. Because again, SPY is in a channel right here at the top is where it's at 965 on TVIX. So if this ever broke out, that means TVIX right here would dump. And since TVIX would dump here, I would have to get out. But so far, a nice play so far, playing this SPY as a ascending triangle pattern. Since it cracked this ascending triangle pattern, now it's moving to the bearish side. I'm okay with what? I'm okay with letting this run and seeing how far this is going to go. And it would be awesome if it, runs up to 11, 12 bucks, that would be great. So I have 6,000 shares. I just locked in 2,000 out of my 6,000. So right now I have 4,000. So there. So again, so no matter what, I made money. And let's just let the other half kind of, run a little bit. So right now, again, I'm still up $1,700 right now. I'm up $1,700. I have 4,000 shares left. So 4,000 shares left. I'm just going to let this 4,000, it's smart to lock in 2,000 at least. So regardless, no matter what, I'm leaving profitable. Now, I'm just going to let it go.
20 minutes later.
Still just holding out. If you guys are curious, profit-wise, I'm up $6,000. Can I get my small account to $100,000 today? It's at 70 grand. I've gone from $4,000 to 70,000. Can I get it up to 100,000? That is the question. And right now, here comes 12 bucks. Let's see, market's falling pretty good right now. This is again just looking for some nice, easy profit. Not breaking $12 yet. That's where it's going to have some resistance. Not breaking $12 yet. That's where it's going to have some resistance. The thing is, when we come down to these bottoms right here at 264, as I said, that is going to be a tougher resistance line at that 264 area. So again, that 264 area, that's the bottom right here. So is that going to, if it cracks this mark, see how it's like right at this bottom? That's the bottom of that red candle. That's the bottom of that green candle. If it cracks this, we're going back down towards like 258. That's the thing. If it cracks it, we're going back down to 258. But this is going to be strong support for sure. Very strong support for sure. That's why I'm kind of saying to myself, hey, maybe I should lock in here because I know we're going to see some sort of bounce here. We are down, the futures are down a massive amount. So that's why I'm kind of saying to myself, hey, you know what? This may be actually a good area to lock it in just because of the plain fact that I know we're going to get some sort of strong bounce here. I locked in another 2,000. I locked in another 2,000. I have 2,000 left. Okay? Locked in another 2,000. 2,000 left. And I'm going to get out. All right, guys, I'm done. I'm done because I know we're going to bounce here first. We're going to have a strong bounce here. I'm out. Okay. So we have here, right here, TVIX in 1009, 1009, 1009, 1009, 1009, 1009. And then as you guys know, I got out at 1048, 2,000 shares. Then I got out 1161, 2,000, and the last 1156. Not too shabby for a day. Good job, TVIX. Way to make me a happy little camper. And that's why, again, we are getting a bounce play right here. So that's why I'm like, hey, you know what? Could it break that mark? Absolutely. But at the same time, it was just at 12 bucks. Now it's all the way down to 11. So it's not worth it to me, you know? It's like sometimes I love having fun with it. I just know there's going to be a big, if we didn't crack $12 here, we're going to have a strong bounce. Now, could it crack later on in the day? Absolutely. But I know at 12 bucks right here, that's the bottom. We're going to have a strong bounce there. So I have to lock in profits. That's just, again, the way I work. So I think it's a smart move by me. What about you guys? That's what I'm more happy about. Let's see what we have. 8 trades, $7,000. He beat me. TVIX 1,000, Fit Trader 220, Trey Neal 200, Devar 1,800, Emerald 223. I can't read this one, but you made a lot of money. So good job. Alamo Joe 420, Digitech 220, Sumac 244, CA Trader 3,800, Alan Martis 2,300, Castillo $4,000, JT 550, Small 150, Boxa. Don't be ever upset. Vic, don't ever be upset with $250 in profit. That's awesome. Soph 837, iPain 110, Sheeble $2,000, 660. Guys, I'm running out of breath because there's so many big time profits coming in right here. Let's see what else we have. So many good profits. I'm so pumped for you guys, and I'm so happy for everyone making some nice money right now. I know those are going to just fill in throughout the whole entire day, but awesome work, guys. What we have seen right here on this play has been what? It has been awesome. We have seen the SPY go against TVIX as TVIX is an inverse to the SPY, and we were able to predict what TVIX was going to do. So how were we able to predict what TVIX was going to do? How was I able to make $6,700 in profits today? That was just comparing the SPY to TVIX and only using what? Simple chart patterns, simple trend lines, simple resistance lines, and simple support lines. That is it. That is it. That is all I used. There wasn't any sort of crazy mathematical algorithms that I have to be super smart to know. These are just stock trading fundamentals. That is all it is, guys. Stock trading fundamentals and understanding where a stock's going to bounce at, where a stock's going to turn at, where can I hold the stock, where should I have my stop loss. This is all very basic stuff. Now, to actually execute this trade, you may need a little bit of experience and knowledge in the market to actually have the discipline to hold through it. But let's break this down absolutely from scratch, and let's talk about how we were able to predict it. So the first thing that I read this morning was what? I always read the CNBC Morning Squawk that comes out in our morning newsletter. I put it in the morning newsletter every single day. And what did I see? Well, we had our chart setups that we wanted to watch, TVIX and UVXY. Why was that? Because, again, CNBC this morning said U.S. stock futures were sharply lower this morning, but action so far has been lacked in a wide swing seen over the past week. Momentum is decidedly towards the negative side. However, the Dow having lost all of its 381-point gain at a session high yesterday and finishing lower. So basically, reading the CNBC Morning Squawk, I do see that we have a little bit more of negativity, towards this market still. We had a big drop the last few days. We had a nice green day 2 days ago, a little bit of consolidation, and now again, the market's starting to turn its way back on down. So we started focusing on penny stocks. We were saying, hey, is NXTD doing anything? No. Is ATOS doing anything? No. Is any of these penny stocks doing anything? No. So where's volume starting to pick on up? TVIX. TVIX, this is where volume is starting to pick on up. This is where we're going to start seeing some hype. This is where we're going to start seeing some momentum. So I start seeing this play start going on a nice climb, a nice rip. And immediately I'm saying to myself, hey, you know what? This may be another TVIX day. This may be, another TVIX day where we could definitely see some big time potential. So I'm bouncing back and forth between TVIX and SPY to try to figure out what is the best play. I'm going to make this very simple. I'm actually going to change this play right here, and I'm going to put this, I'm going to leave this on the SPY, the 1 minute chart, and I'm going to scroll this back to the start of the day, and I'm going to put this on TVIX so we can compare these two. Because again, whatever SPY does, TVIX is going to do the complete opposite. The complete opposite, basically a mirror effect. So I see TVIX run up right here towards around 1018. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to say 1015, make it simple. It runs up to 1015. TVIX drops on down. We get a little bounce play. And I'm just going to say this, a support line is right around 1066.50. Okay, like right around this area. This is where it bounced here. This is where it bounced again a little bit right here. Again, this is where it ran up right here. This is where it ran up again right here. Where did I get into this play? Again, my cost basis was at 10.09. That is where I got in on this play. So immediately, I got in on this drop right here. On when SPY dropped on up, when TVIX came on up. Right here, I got in at 10.09. Now, right when I got in at 10.09, what happened? I was expecting the next leg on up right here. That's what I personally wanted to see. I personally wanted to see the next leg on up. I personally wanted to see this climb right here. Now, why was that? That is because if I scroll this back a little bit more, what does this look like? That looks like a U-shaped breakout pattern. Now, this is a very easy pattern, very common pattern in stock trading, leads to a lot of nice, easy gains. I'll bring up a couple examples, as you guys know I always do, to show you guys, again, the U-shaped breakout pattern. That's what I was thinking in my head, where we have what? Our initial run-up, our U-shape is being formed, and then I'm looking for that next leg on up. I'm looking for that breakout. I'm looking for that climb. So basically, when I'm looking at TVIX right here, I'm looking for what? I'm looking for this initial run up, this U-shape, and then we usually get a lot of strong buyers. This initial run up, this U-shape, a lot of strong buyers. Initial run up, the U-shape, a lot of strong buyers. Initial run up, U-shape, and then I'm looking for a lot of strong buyers. With that being said, I'm looking for the SPY to do what? I'm looking for this to crash, U-shape upside down, then crack down low. I want this to crack here, but support held. Support held, so it started moving on up. So if support's holding on TVIX, or support's holding on SPY, that means TVIX is going to start dropping. If SPY is moving up, TVIX is going to be coming on down. So what does that mean? So now I'm stuck at 10.09. I'm stuck at 10.09 right here as I'm seeing these massive red candles coming on down. How can I find the discipline to stay? Dek, what can you do right now to know that maybe it could come back on up? Where is a smart trader going to come out of? Because again, just because you make a lot of money doesn't mean the time you buy, you're always making money. It doesn't mean you're always matching your entries perfectly. It means that you're figuring out the stock the best of your abilities to predict where it's going to go next. Where can I predict that the stock's going to go next? Okay, well, let's figure this out. TVIX. First thing first that we can do on display is first we can throw a trend line on this. So if we go to a trend line, and I could see, okay, this is my first area where I want this to hold. If I could put this right here, I can hold some sort of trend line on this play where, again, held, bounce, little bounce, held, maybe crack underneath, and then this. Okay, immediately it's cracking $10. I'm in at 10.09. I'm not really going to hold. I'm not going to sell it if it just cracks, $10. That's 9 cents. TVIX is a stock that runs dollars. I'm not going to just hold, for 9 cents. So what else can I do? Let's look for a channel. A channel would make a little bit more sense. Why? Because this is old resistance. Old resistance is going to hold up as new support. Now coming back down, this is my last area of support. You guys know, again, channels, guys. So when we look at channels, we have to hold that stock until, again, it breaks back up to the resistance line, or you have to sell if it cracks below support. I am inside a channel on TVIX right here. I am inside a channel on TVIX, which means it's going to bounce, move on up, bounce, move on up. As long as it doesn't crack this orange line below, that means we will be moving up for a breakout. As long as it doesn't crack that orange line below, we're getting our breakout. As long as it could hit that orange line, as long as it doesn't crack it, we're going to be moving up for a breakout. As long as it doesn't crack it, we're moving up for a breakout. And that's exactly what happened as TVX came on down. This is my last go. I was so close to getting out right here. I said, hey, you know what? I am so close. My finger is on the trigger. I had the order up and everything to sell, but I didn't sell. Why? Because it's still holding this line. Then we start moving our way back on up. With this, at the same time, what did we have going on with SPY? SPY, we started forming, okay, here's a top, here's a top, here's a top. Okay, and I also see a little bit of higher lows. So once you put this together, we are seeing this in ascending triangle. An ascending triangle leads to possible future breakouts. Why is that? Triangles, as you guys know, lead to squeezes. But what's the key criteria to an ascending triangle breakout pattern? You have to get to the corner of that play. You have to get to the corner. That's the only way it's going to break out. So I'm sitting there and saying to myself, if SPY gets to the corner of this triangle, I may be done. In the corner right here, it's basically down here of 266. Because when this is at 266, this is at around that 267, 60 cent mark. So when this is down here, that's when SPY is up here. So I'm saying if this gets to the corner, we'll see a breakout at the corner. We'll see, again, breakout at the corner. We'll see a breakout at the corner, all on this ascending triangle pattern. But what happened? It cracked its trend line. And as we know, when you crack a trend line, you're going from the bullish side to the bearish side. So the moment you crack a trend line, immediately you are going to be sitting pretty if you're on the inverse of that. And that's exactly what happened. So we could take away this top resistance line, and we just look here. We see this moving on up, bounce, 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 crack. Okay, bounce, 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 crack on down. Okay, bounce, 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 crack on down. Bounce, 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 crack on down. Bounce, 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 crack on down. Bounce, 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 crack on down. The moment I saw that crack, I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm sitting big. TVIX does the opposite of SPY. That means it's time for liftoff. That means it's time to go. That means it's time to play. Now, what have we been seeing? We saw, so this whole entire time, I was just holding this play. Now, another area that I almost got out was where? Right at this area, around 1052. Why did I get almost out at this area? Because again, we went on a nice rip, got a nice pop right here. I'm saying if it falls below this area of 1045, 1045 was support, consolidation across the whole entire board right here. If it falls back below here, we're going to fall back down towards around like 960. Hey, okay, if it falls back below here, I'm out. You know what? It bounced back on up. Nice U-shaped patterns formed, break of top resistance, more buying volume comes in. Now we're spiking hard. We're moving on up. We're spiking on hard. Where is this coming from? Right here, up towards around 12 bucks. We couldn't break 12 bucks. That's been around the top. Couldn't break 12 bucks. Why could it not break 12 bucks? You know, why could it not break this area? Well, we go back to let's go back to, let's make this again SPY. Because again, that's all we're doing. All I'm doing is watching the SPY to figure out what TVIX is going to be doing next. So I go to time frame, daily. Let's turn back on the symbol linking right here. The symbol linking. And what can we see? Okay, we've had this drop. We had a little bit of green. Now we're seeing a drop. There is going to be very strong support on SPY right here, right at the bottom of this red candle, at the bottom of this green candle, which is again going to lead to the low of today, right at 12 bucks. This is where it bounced last time. This is where it opened up last time. Now it could easily crack below this 150%. And if it does crack below this, it's going to be falling all the way back on down towards like 258. It's going to be a very nice, crack for sure. But the plain fact is we are going to see a very nice bounce area here on the SPY, and that's where TVIX started falling. Now, I don't know if this is going to hold up at, 264. I don't know if that's going to hold on up. I don't know if it's going to be able to break there. So that's where I say to myself, you know what, Dek, it was a fun ride. It was a fun trade, but you have to lock in profits. This fell all the way back down to 1065. Yes, it's making its way back on up right now. Yes, it's trying to get its way back up to $12. But at the same time, I need to lock in my profits when I have them. I could just keep on holding and hopefully breaks $12, but this is a very strong area. Not from only here, but also back here. There's a lot of strong support at around this mark of 264. So with that being said, I need to lock in my profit. Also, little side note, just something that we kind of discovered as we were going is what? This is basically an opposite of a mid-candle breakout pattern. This is like a mid-candle breakdown pattern, I guess you would say. As a mid-candle breakout pattern is what? A very great play that just shows a giant green day, a red day of consolidation, and the next day is green. So what we have for breakouts, what we usually look for in penny stocks is nice green, little bit of red, next day nice green. We have our nice green, next day a little red, next day green. Nice day green, little bit of red, then we come back with a green. Green, little bit of shorters, now we got our buyers. So we have our buyers, our shorters, our buyers. What did we have on the market? We had our big shorting day, a little bit of buyers, now more shorters starting to come on in. So now you can see TVIX slowly making its way back on up, slowly trying to get its climb. Now again, I locked in again as 1162 and 1155. So we'll see if this could possibly break below that $12 mark or above that $12 mark, below 264, and get that thing even crashing even more. But I'm 100% out. I just want to show you guys, of course, how I was able to make this play, how I was able to make that profit, and how, again, I was able to predict what was going on in the stock market.